Let's go, unit! We'll wait for the platform to take us live. Say it ain't so, Kayla Braxton. My live unit can't hear any of this right now, but my future unit, the replay unit, those watching on replay, we'll have a little chat before we go live. Kayla Braxton leaving WWE. That's the real deal, man. Oh, we're live. What's up, future? Or no, current amplified unit. Me and the replay unit were just having a talk. For some reason, it takes a while to go actually live, but it is recording. And then the replay, it is what it is, man. I don't make the rules, the tube makes them. What's up, everybody? Live on this Monday afternoon, hours before Monday Night Raw. Your playback sounds good. So you know the routine. I'm going to pop my playback in so I can hear myself in real time. Here we go. Check. BC in the unit coming at you. Check 1 2 1 2. BC in the unit straight live at you. What do I got here? Clearly Canadian Wild Cherry. That's about fitting, right? We about to get wild. We about to get amplified. Kayla Braxton leaving WWE. I have something to say about that because you guys know, if you've been following the channel long enough, how much I absolutely adore, how much of a pedestal I put this lady on, and just how beautiful she is, but how talented she is. Kayla Braxton out of WWE. Doesn't matter how I'm feeling today, Dwayne. This is about the stories, man. Doesn't matter how BC could be feeling like shit. Don't matter. It's about how these wrestlers are feeling tonight. Monday Night Raw. And Kayla Braxton leaving, man. That makes us feel a little bit more sour. You lost Renee Young, Renee Paquette. Now we're losing Kayla Braxton. I'll talk about that in a minute. Also, a WWE Hall of Famer wants one more match before he retires. Claims that VKM promised him this match, but here's the deal. If he doesn't knock himself out before the match, would you guys be interested in seeing this Hall of Famer have one more match? Or if you've seen one of these matches, you've seen them all. Is his time done? Should he just call it? We'll talk about who that person is and how it is, man. With this individual always just looking for that next big payday, right? We'll talk about it. Also, AEW's ratings crashed this past Wednesday. The word going around the campfire, what Warner Discovery, what Tony Khan's AEW people within the it's a bunch of excuses all mixed into one ball, right? And you're not going to believe what some of this was. We're going to touch base on how AEW Dynamite crashed this past Wednesday in the ratings. We're also going to talk about a big shakeup in WWE. Smackdown has saw a new creative team this past week, and it pretty much showed, actually. A lot of people were more into Smackdown this week than they have been in a while. Everybody was going, HHH, he's cooking. Not so fast. We found out there was a major creative shakeup, and somebody else was cooking. Now, Paul Levesque McMahon could have been like microwaving some ramen noodles. You know those cup of noodles? You fill the water to the line, you pop it into the microwave for 3 minutes and 5 seconds, and you got a whole lunch/dinner. Maybe Paul Levesque McMahon was making cup of noodles, but this individual in the shakeup, he was making a whole 4 or 5 course meal. I mean, you had scallops for the appetizer, you had a nice fine wine, maybe some Sauvignon. Maybe you had that filet mignon for the full course. You had you had to steal it from catering. The triple layered mousse cake. Maybe a little triple layered mousse cake for dessert. And of course, you have to have the side dish of maybe the Peking duck. Maybe a little bit of salmon on the side. Salmon with Peking duck. It's a 5-course meal that this dude was putting together on SmackDown, this new creative writer. for SmackDown. We're going to talk about it, man. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Monday Night Raw tonight, the full preview. I have that for you as well. But the biggest story I want to start off with is Netflix. This is huge. This is what we've been waiting for, right? How is it going to be? Monday Night Raw on Netflix. We already know a lot of things are going to change, man. And everything we once knew about Raw, gone. WWE's product is going to change. That's a forever thing starting in January. But what we weren't sure of, how strict was Netflix going to be? How strict was Netflix going to be on WWE? Were they going to handcuff them creatively or just as a business model? Nick Khan and Ari, let alone Paul Levesque McMahon. So what that is basically Netflix saying they're not going to censor WWE. Triple H recently just saying that when they go over to Netflix, they are going to be able to say things like, holy shit. He talked about how Fox always has to mute that. Fox is always muting the holy shits. How many times have you guys seen the holy shit chants literally blacked out, not just muted? How many times does that not aggravate you? Fix your headphones, Victor. Your playback is good. Fix your headphones. Audio is good on your end. I can confirm. Make sure you're not blowing out your headphones. How many times have you guys seen that rock out? To where it had to mute something like the crowd chanting holy shit or even going to a black screen. How many times does it ruin an entire segment? Too much, Eric Leno. Entire segments absolutely ruined. It ain't just The Rock. Anytime the crowd chants holy shit or the crowd chants bullshit, I've even heard "you suck" chants absolutely muted and then blacked out. Blacked out. And Triple H, thankfully, to his credit, he talked about this. He was on the Pat McAfee show, and he talked about how Fox literally doesn't just mute, they'll black out the screen on him. So he threw Fox under the bus. I'm actually very proud of Paul Levesque McMahon for saying that ain't us. Fox is doing that. Good. They need to be held accountable. That's not how you mute. Find different ways, but you cannot absolutely just mute out entire segments. You cannot black out the screen. You can't do that shit. You can't possibly black it out and mute it because then you lose the promo, you lose the storyline. I can't tell you how many times. And they'll do it every other second, right? If you're going to do it, just do it all in one. How you doing, right? Just mute it out for 60 seconds and we're all going to be like, what happened in that minute? But to go on and off for every time, right? Every time they would chant the holy shit, then they would go back on for 1 second, then they would mute it for 2 seconds, then on for 1 second. That's not how you do television, man. Fox absolutely ruined a lot of those broadcasts just on the couple of 2-3 promos that they would mute out and black out. My point is this. I don't want to go on and on about it. Paul Levesque McMahon said when we move to Netflix, that's not going to be the case. That's going to change. That's a game changer. We will not be censored like we were by Fox. USA doesn't even do it as bad as Fox, but they do it. So when they get SmackDown, you're still going to get it. You're still going to get it with SmackDown. But at least Monday Night Raw, man, when it goes to Netflix, there you're going to be able to hear the chants. You're going to be able to hear the assholes, the bitch, the you sucks, the bullshits, the holy shits, all of it. And that's needed because then the promo will not be muted. The promo will not be muted. You can actually hear every word. You can follow a storyline. What a concept. Unit, pretty badass, man. Fox has been dropping the ball from day one on censoring WWE. Dropping the ball big time. to the point of aggravation, to the point where it's actually ruining the product. So in that aspect, that's what I was waiting for. The PG rating, that's always going to fluctuate. I understand. Maybe that'll change too. Maybe they'll move the goalpost a little bit being on Netflix. But the fact that Netflix is going to be lenient and let WWE, the crowd, chant what they want and WWE say what they want, as long as you're not dropping F-bombs left and right and making this just a trash product, because there are kids watching. I get it, dude. Nobody wants their kid tuning in and watching an F-bomb every other line. But you gotta speak in reality, right? In order to believe it in 2024, you have to portray it. In order to portray it, you have to go and do it. In order to do it, it has to become everybody involved, including Fox. They dropped the ball, so now Netflix is gonna pick it up and say, do what you do. You don't have those restrictions. Very happy to hear that, man. Netflix will not be censoring Monday Night Raw when it moves over to their streaming service. That is a huge win for WWE. Massive, man. Big time. What do you guys think, man? No more black screens, no more muting. Good? JR9, audio is perfect. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I always do an audio check for you guys first, man. So if audio is off for you guys, always check your internet, always check your connection. But I always make sure that the audio is good for you guys before I switch to my playback. But audio is, connection is different for everybody. Sometimes you'll hear hiccups. Sometimes it'll be like little pauses. Sometimes you'll hear crackling. And sometimes I just blow the mic up, right? And minute one, I already blew up the microphone. So sometimes that's the deal. But your audio is definitely good. Yep, I love it too, Flip. Eddie Brash, it is great indeed, man. Alexander, it's not looking good. They'll get a deal, but it won't be what Tony wants. I'll talk about that in a little bit, actually. What up, Gilly? What up? Awesome news from Netflix. Dynamite guy, no question. I'm glad Raw's going uncensored. John Beal, love it. Eric Leno. D. Sean putting those thumbs up. Tony Partita, I'm pumped for it. That's a huge announcement, man. No more censoring the crowd, which means more than likely the promos will no longer be muted either. Massive. Awesome. No more censoring this product, man. The crowd chants and you black out the screen? How prude is Fox? What are you doing, bro? Come on, it's the crowd. It's not even the wrestlers chanting it. If you got a kid at home that you're watching wrestling with and there's a chant of bullshit or holy shit, earmuff them or tell them that's just the crowd. You don't say those words. The crowd is doing that. That's wrong, right? And you can lecture the kid, but don't ruin it for the rest of us. Or find a way. It's 2024. Find a way to mute the crowd, but let the promo still go. You can't find a way to do that? WWE's done it for years. They literally know how to manipulate the audience. They'll put boos for the audience when they're not booing. They'll pipe it in. They'll overlap the audience. They'll literally take out the sound of the audience. They'll do it. Why can't Fox do it? So, huge, man. I'm going to give that a props right now, actually. Let me crack this wild cherry, clearly Canadian. Very well done. A little slippery, too. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. Salute, unit. That is an awesome first story. Salute. Damn, I haven't had the wild cherry in a minute. Damn. What the... I'm always talking about the country raspberry, the mountain blackberry. Maybe the wild cherry is up there in the top spot. Who knows? Okay, let's talk about this, because this is what we talked in our last live stream. Joker 716 and the Elmeister. What's up? I'll hit those super chats in just a minute. I'll make sure I give a shout out to all the super chats, guys, and just give me a little bit. I'm going to run through a few more of these stories. But appreciate the coffees and the clearly Canadians, guys. I will give you a proper shout out in just a couple of minutes. But I want to touch base on this AEW story. So Dynamite this past Wednesday scored, can you call it, garnered? I don't even know, 502,000 viewers. They barely hit 500,000 viewers. Here we are days later. I don't know how that's even possible. I thought there was a mistake until the quarterlies came out and we saw the whole, just how it just went, just horrible for AEW on Wednesday. I don't even know how that show pulled in 500,000. No matter how bad it is, no matter the holiday, no matter what, you never thought this soon AEW would hit only 500,000 viewers. Nobody thought that. No, but not even a Bischoff, who was always trying to come down hard on AEW. Not even they could have said 500,000 by the middle of 2024. Was it headed that way? Was there a trajectory? Yes. But 500,000, there's no way that 2/3 of their audience are gone from their debut. And again, I expect that to go up at least back to 6 something this week. It has to rebound a little bit. And I'm not saying there wasn't some factors to chip away a little bit, but the fact that people just didn't feel like they needed to see AEW this week, that's the biggest thing, right? I say it all the time with WWE. Before you can even go to excuses, guys, holiday, I don't care if it's Christmas. Of course that's going to affect it. Nobody's saying Christmas is not going to affect the number. But before you even throw all the excuses, first and foremost, you have to blame yourself as the product, right? You have to literally say, first, it was us that didn't produce the audience. We did not put a show together that most people felt they had to see, no matter what was happening. Whether they had the open Christmas gifts, go see their grandmother to show them that the pink bunny suit, the nighty onesie actually fits their Christmas present. If you've seen the Christmas Story, you know what I'm talking about. Before any of that, did you produce a product that was must-see TV? That's it. Of course, Christmas is going to affect your number. No question. But did you do everything you could to produce the best number possible? That's why I always say, screw the excuses. We'll go over them later. If there's a big championship game, if there's a holiday, all of that stuff. First, did you produce the best possible show? Did fans say, this is must-see TV, I don't care about anything else? Did fans gradually flock to the product as the show went on because that's how good it was? Or did you lose an audience as the night went on? These are all questions you asked yourself before you looked elsewhere. But just 24 hours, within 24 hours after that number came out, do you know what's going on internally, right? This is from like the Fightfuls, right? There's reports of people talking to people in these locker rooms in AEW and people within Warner Discovery. And they put together a collection of excuses. Listen to this. This is just some of the reasonings they said they pulled only 500,000 viewers. There was a college basketball game, just a random college basketball game. There was Olympic trials, they said. Olympic trials. Not the Olympics, the trials, just to like try to get on these teams, right? So you had to see who was going to get on the bobsledding team. All right, that's winter. Summer. Who's going to get on the shot pulling team, right? Who's going to get on the, give me a summer game, badminton. Who's going to get on the badminton team? Pimpe Seuss, 18 months, going to watch this later, man. Kick ass, whatever you're doing, this will be up on the channel afterwards. There will be a replay of this, Pimpe Seuss. I appreciate the 18-month strong gold membership, channel membership. Pimpe Seuss! Salute, dude. So you had to see who did the hurdles, JR9. You had to see who's going to make the hurdle team. I can't watch MJF. I don't care about their champion Swerve. I don't care what's happening with the Young Bucks and Tony Khan. I don't care about Jericho and the Learning Tree. I don't care about any of that because I have to see who makes the hurdles team. Who's going to be on the gymnastics? Who is going to, in case Simone Biles quits, who's going to replace her? Right? You have to see these big storylines. So it wasn't just a college basketball game. internally, AEW, Warner Discovery, they're saying it wasn't just a college basketball game, it was Olympic trials. They didn't stop there, guys. No. They said college basketball, Olympic trials. There was a streaming rap concert. There was a rap concert on a streaming service, Kendrick Lamar. To which 64% of individuals said, what is a Kendrick Lamar? If that took you away from AEW, you went to a streaming service to watch a rapper, that tells you everything you need to know. I said this in the upload not long ago. The last upload we did, the last live stream, I said in the Attitude Era, if you went to a streaming, if it was around back then, and you went and listened to Puff Daddy rap, instead of watching Stone Cold Steve Austin wreak havoc on the Authority, or Sting come down from the rafters with the bat to face the NWO, but you are watching Puffy Daddy, then that tells you everything you would need to know about Nitro and Raw in the Attitude Era. That's not what was happening. They were flocking away from football. NFL football was getting their asses whooped by Nitro and Raw. Gruss 512, that's the problem. Gruss 512 says, hold on, let me get it on the big screen. That Kendrick Lamar concert was lit as fuck. So AEW Dynamite wasn't, is what you're saying. That's what you're saying. A dude walking around the stage with a microphone whooped AEW ass, is what you're saying. That's what you're telling me. Is that what that's what you're saying, though? That everybody flocked to a streaming service to watch a dude named Kendrick completely whoop AEW's ass. Is that... Oh, well, Dr. Dre? Well, then fuck AEW! I didn't know Dr. Dre was there! I don't care if you were to add in the rest of Run DMC, if you were to resurrect a Biggie, my boy Biggie. If Mace was to come out of retirement. What about AEW? It was so easy to just say no thank you. I'm going to watch Kendrick when you know that's going to be on a replay. It's a streaming service. You can watch Kendrick later. AEW, that's what I mean. Back in Raw versus Nitro, you would never even think of that. The top act in the world, you would never... I don't care if you love country and it's Tim McGraw. You loved fucking hip-hop or rap and you had Biggie there. You were rock and roll and you had fucking Def Leppard and Journey together. Doesn't matter. There's no way you were missing these shows. Ratings were already going backwards for AEW, for WWE as well, by the way. And this gave their audience, they said, oh, I'm tuning in the Dynamo. Oh, wait, Kendrick Lamar's streaming live. Sorry, AEW, maybe next week. Maybe next week, unless Taylor Swift is going to be having her live concert. Then I'll have to come back in 2 weeks. AEW, sorry. College basketball. I'm not even done. I'm not done. These were the excuses of why they pulled 500,000. College basketball, Olympic trials, a Kendrick Lamar concert on a streaming service, not even cable, the June 19th holiday, just the holiday in general. That's it. Just the holiday. Apparently, one of the big things you do on June 19th is you do not watch AEW. And get this kind of goes with the holiday, right? In case everybody's out, they're having a nice fucking, what did Trick Williams, right? Maybe everybody was invited to the barbecue. If you guys saw Trick and Cody's segment. So everybody is outside, right? It's a nighttime. Everyone's feeling good. Listen to this excuse. Nice. This is a statement that was given. I think this was to Fightful. This statement was given to, I believe the source was Fightful. That's who it was given to. They're blaming the rating on unusually nice weather, especially on the East Coast. Yeah, Iman, blaming black people. But basically is what they're doing. It's the June 19th holiday. That's what they said. Black people turned around on us. It's June 19th. They had other things to do. They'll be back next week. Really? Unusually nice weather, especially on the East Coast. What does that mean? What? You got bad ratings because there was unusually nice weather, especially on the East Coast. So everybody was about to watch AEW, and then they were like, they're like, Fredrickson, open that window. AEW's coming on. Fredrickson opens the window. Toddy, there's a breeze coming in. It looks beautiful out there. Fredrickson, I'm shutting the TV. We are not watching AEW. We're going outside and we're letting the breeze run through our locks. We're gonna run. We're gonna run around the yard, letting the breeze hit our nipples. We are going to enjoy this night. We will not be held inside. We will not be held down into the confinement of Tony Khan's AEW product. Screw you, AEW. You cannot hold us down. We are not imprisonment. We are free. Sorry, Tony Khan, I have to shut AEW off because it is unusually nice weather, especially here on the East Coast. Could you imagine? Sting is confronting the NWO and Stone Cold is going face-to-face with Vince McMahon over on Raw. Both things are happening. It's Monday night, but there's a breeze. So you're like, man, sorry, man, I'm going outside with the breeze. It's unusually nice weather, especially on the East Coast. You guys see where this is stupid, right? This was all said afterwards. Everything from Olympic trials to college basketball games to rappers having concerts on streaming services to holidays to unusually nice weather. But you only pulled barely over 650 last week. Where was all of that? Right? That was just over 650 when you started at over 1.4. You haven't hit 800,000 in nearly 3 months. You were just over 650. Now you're at 5. Can you really lump all of that together and say that's the sole reason you lost another near 180,000 viewers? Or can you just say that something systematically is broken within All Elite Wrestling? And that's okay. There's still time to fix it, but you have to do it now. You're trying to get a new TV deal. They haven't got it yet. You know why? Because Warner Discovery doesn't want to pay a lot of money for a product that they see going backwards. Guys, that's the truth. Jericho has said it already. Dante Jaron 23, I see that super chat, man. I appreciate you. I'm going to give my shout outs to my super chatters in just a little bit. Dante Jaron, thank you, dude. We'll shoot the shit in just a little bit. But Jericho said, like, that's the frustrating thing is it's getting down to the wire, and we have earned a better deal than this. So that shows you, I mean, he let the cat out of the bag. This has been many, many months in the making that Khan has been trying to get this deal done with Warner Discovery. They just don't want to cut the deal because they know it's going so far backwards. Why are we going to pay you more money? Now, I think they'll end up there, right? I think Tony Khan will have to settle on any deal that he's given, right? If the timeline is down to like 48, 72 hours, Tony Khan will have to take whatever deal Warner Discovery's given him. That's how this is going to end up playing out because when you get 500,000 viewers, your leverage is gone. Do you want to know one of the... Guys, I wasn't even done. There was one excuse that really just baffled me, and it's something that they should have never... As if all of these excuses weren't bad. This one was the worst of them all. You guys ready for this one? Listen to this. All right, I'm Dark Moons. I'm actually getting to that now, actually. So, college basketball, Olympic trials, streaming rap concert, June 19th holiday, extremely nice, unusually nice weather, especially on the East Coast. All of those excuses. And you want to know what one of the biggest excuses were? I totally forgot to even mention this. They didn't have the Big Bang Theory lead-in. This is a real thing. No joke. They said a big reason that we got hit so hard in the ratings was we didn't have the Big Bang Theory lead-in. The Black Panther movie was leading us in. Why would you? So you're admitting that, well, it's something we all knew, by the way. JR9 Gaming, my right-hand man on the channel, and a lot of my veteran subscribers, a lot who are in this live chat, actually, and a lot will catch this on the replay. But they'll tell you, I've always told you guys, the lead-in is so huge, and that first segment is just as important as the main event segment. Because that lead-in, that tells them if they're going to stick around or not. But that first segment, that's massive. That's why I said MJF was pulling in the biggest ratings for AEW, even when CM Punk was there. When Punk started, MJF was edging him out in the ratings. And that's why MJF had every reason to be upset. You gave this guy 4 times as much as me, and I'm doing more business-wise. At least ratings anyway, ratings. So he had every right to complain. And I told you guys, if they're smart, they would put Punk in segment 1, Q1. Right? Really start to, at least on paper, show that Punk is worth all the money you're giving him. Finally, Tony Khan moved over to CM Punk to Q1, and Q1 blew up. That's what you had to do. Q1 is going to be massive. You have that lead-in. The lead-in is so special. But that shouldn't be why you drop viewers. That should be why you gain viewers, right? Why you keep viewers. That should be a good thing. They actually said we didn't have the Big Bang Theory lead-in. That's what hurt our numbers. So you only get a higher number if Big Bang Theory gives you their audience? And you're hoping that after the Big Bang Theory, before they're able to change the channel, they go take a piss, or they go make an omelet, or they go outside and pick up a bad habit, they throw themselves and play in the traffic, they pick up some smoking. You're hoping that they do something, take the old lady to the bedroom. You're hoping something is done for at least 20 to 30 minutes to where it stays on that channel. That's what you said. If you're going to blame the fact that you didn't have Big Bang Theory, you're saying that was never your audience to begin with. So technically, every week, you can take away that Q1 segment, right? Or at least the first half of Q1. Imagine if we started to do that. You could literally take away about 50 to 75,000 viewers, bare minimum. Bare minimum. So their 680 last week would have been close to 6, if even. When they hit 725, you can bring that to 650. And that's bare minimum. So add in that excuse as well, Big Bang Theory. You have to now say something is systematically wrong within the company. We have to change it. We have to try to get our tried and trues back. We have to get our audience that we lost. We have to get them back. Their diehards were at 950. Now only 500,000 viewers caught their show. Forbidden Door is when, guys? Does anybody know the date for Forbidden Door? Which I can tell you by gauging the community, even AEW's, a lot of those fans are not excited at all to see a Forbidden Door when AEW's business model is such in flux. June 30th is Forbidden Door. That is Sunday. That is Sunday. Sunday, man. And you pulled 500? So just fix that. This company has so much talent. Tony Khan gives them so much freedom. They have good minds. Christopher Daniels being one of them, not just on TV. Christopher Daniels is excellent. I call him one of the masterminds in this industry. Just fix it. Stop for a second, take a breath, and say, hey, we're doing a lot wrong, clearly. Our audience, our diehards are walking away. What can we do collectively? Stop and take a breath for a second. That's all. But if you keep doing it over and over, what are you waiting for? 300,000 viewers, TNA's audience, and then all of a sudden you look at Warner Discovery when they're handing you peanuts and you have to take the deal? June 30th, man. So this week is a go-home show, and you're hoping that they just get 650 back. This company has a chance, man. They really do. There is some really good talents in that company. And they just got some really good talents. I'm not just talking wrestlers, flips and divers in the ring. Mercedes Moné can help carry that division on her back. Ospreay, and not even the flips and the dives in the 6-star matches for Ospreay. I'm talking Ospreay, the character, on the microphone. This dude can put shit on his back. And these are new hires. Let alone the veteran talent you have. Whether you love AEW or you can't stand them, you love to put them on a pedestal or you love to bash them, doesn't matter. They have potential. And something other than WWE on a big scale is good. It's good for business. It's good for fans, dude. But only if it's done correctly. Everybody had such high hopes. But when their own diehard tried and trues walk away, then we all can finally say, okay, something's really not right here. Because people should not be walking away that easily because of Olympic trials or June 19th, and the party is taking it way past the 8, 9 o'clock hour. Because Black Panther is leading us in and not Big Bang Theory. Because there's unusually nice weather, especially on the East Coast. People should not have to leave or want to leave that quickly a show that is supposed to be captivating. Because pro wrestling is not The Simpsons. Pro wrestling is not Seinfeld. Pro wrestling isn't even a Breaking Bad. Pro wrestling has to be watched. It has to feel like it's must see. It has to feel that way. At least it always did. Throughout the years, no matter what age, no matter what time frame, that's what pro wrestling did for BC, and I know many of you. But when you start to feel like you can miss shit and there's no FOMO, there's no fear of missing out at all, then it's done, man. When you have no FOMO, that product is pretty much done for you. There's no fear of missing out if you miss a week, 2, 3, 4 weeks of this stuff. 4 months. You could tune in 4 months, you pick up right where you left off, or you didn't feel like you missed anything. That's what these fans are telling you when they decide, hey, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to watch the concert over here. It's nice weather. I'm going to go out and take a walk. Maybe I'll catch the highlights another day. Back in the day, it didn't matter, man. It didn't matter how beautiful it was. It didn't matter about the NFL fucking Monday Night Football game that was on. It didn't matter the holiday. If they were promoting something badass, Nitro or Raw, Attitude Era, you had to be on your couch watching the big screen TV. You had to. It made the decision for you. You didn't get to say, right? That hot girl was like, dude, we're going on a date. You're taking me out at 8 o'clock on Monday night. You're like, you better make that 7 or you better make that 11. Or if it's a 3-hour show at that point, 11. You're going to have an 11 o'clock dinner because it ain't no way I'm missing Stone Cold and Vince. Ain't happening. That was the coolest thing back then, man. It was hotter than anything else, pro wrestling. I'm not saying it's that level today. But you should still not feel like you can miss the shows that easily. That's what this is showing us. People feel like they can just miss full wrestling shows and there's no issue. That's the problem with the product. Renee G. Just facts. Just facts. I want to see success with these companies. But you can't get there unless you have an honest discussion, right? Honest talks about how you just have to stop, regroup, take a breath, back to the business model, and get better. Same thing we said about WWE, by the way. We knew Vincent Kennedy McMahon had to go. I'm not saying personally that Paul Levesque McMahon was the savior. A lot of people put him on a pedestal. I do not. But I'm hoping for the best for Paul Levesque McMahon because it's a better product for us, the talent, it's better for them, and it's better for the industry. So that's why. Whether you like Levesque McMahon or not, we better all hope that he does good. Because a good Levesque McMahon creatively is a good product. A good product is going to help the business, the talent, and the fans. That's what I mean. Whether you like something or don't, even if you don't like something, you still root for the success because it's going to help. You know Fred Bucks, what up? So it's demoralizing to see AEW hit 500,000. I don't care what the excuse is, because now you have to fight and you have to scratch and claw to get that back. Okay, no Holiday, no Kendrick Lamar, no unusually nice weather, all of that stuff aside. Now you have to just scratch and claw just to get the 600, the 650 back, just so you can get back to 750,000, which is where you've been roughly for 3 months. 650 to 750, 7 to 750. And then you can start to concentrate on 950. The million, forget about that for another year or two at this point. Just try to get your audience back. I didn't even mention this yet. We're 40 minutes in, 150 on the ups. I appreciate that. Probably should have mentioned that before. Helps the algorithm, but smashing those ups, giving those ups a clearly Canadian destroyer, so those likes are looking up at the lights, 1, 2, 3. It greatly helps the algorithm, but it also lets BC know you are fully amplified. Look at that, huh? Get them up. Yeah. Helps BC know you're fully amplified. So smash those ups, guys. I appreciate that big time. Let's get that to 200 on a Monday afternoon, hours before Raw. So that's the discussion on censoring WWE, Fox especially. Netflix is not going to censor WWE, so I wanted to touch base on that. I did want to put an exclamation point on AEW's numbers and just what the internal discussion is within AEW and Warner Discovery, or at least that's what the reports we're hearing. They're chalking up to just an unusual week, and they listed all of these reasons / excuses. Where do you guys want to go? A WWE Hall of Famer wants one more match before he retires. And he is Goldberg. Goldberg wants one more match. First of all, before I talk about this, do you guys even want to see Goldberg in there for one more match? He says Vince owed him that, but Vince went back on his word. Yes, Bill Goldberg is who we're talking about. That's a lot of no's coming in. Too funny. No-berg. I like that one. No-berg. That's a lot of no's. Does anybody want to see Goldberg? Does anybody want to see Goldberg? That's a lot of no's. Goldberg, not too popular in the pro wrestling world these days. Renee says, I do. Fuck it, I do. Renee G, you might be alone on that. I just went back. I'm just seeing just no's. That's it. JR9 says Braun versus Goldberg. That would be it. Well, that brings me to my next question. If Goldberg has one more match in WWE, I mean, who do you put him against? What do we see out of Goldberg that we haven't seen before, right? The spear, the false finish, another spear, or somebody spears him, and that's 1, 2, 3. At this point, are people just getting ripped off? Like, you have to seriously ask the question, are people just getting ripped off with Goldberg matches now? Is the shtick up, right? Is the magic trick exposed, and it's just like Goldberg is just not, it doesn't work now in 2024. I can tell you back in the day when the music hit and this freak would come out hitting himself, he was amplified. I loved it. But there's also another side to that, right? To this day, he's still very reckless. I mean, you hear the story. You hear what he did with Scott Hall, and Scott Hall had to stop the match and say, dude, what are you doing? And Goldberg, full honesty, Goldberg said, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, man. This was in the middle of a match. Goldberg taking freaking Bret Hart's dome piece off, ending Bret's career, basically. Goldberg and what he did with The Undertaker, knocked himself out, hitting a door, headbutting a door, and then going out to the ring and nearly ending The Undertaker's career 3 separate times. Goldberg has been involved in one situation after the other of sheer recklessness and negligence. So just getting older and a little weaker, is that the best place for him inside that ring, knowing that he's still greener than the tundra at Lambeau Field? And who do you have him take on? Who does Goldberg face? That's making you take your wallet out and chuck some credit cards at WWE. Who? There is nobody. There's nobody. That's what I mean. I mean, the names that I'm seeing in the chat, they're not even with WW. There's nobody, guys. I think it's tough to say because these are people you kind of grew up with watching, right? Goldberg was so huge for that Attitude Era and for pro wrestling in totality. But, I mean, Goldberg just coming back to cash in on that huge payday, the crowd is becoming more and more just done with it. So I don't see how Paul Levesque McMahon brings in Goldberg and makes him the centerpiece of a storyline, even if he does a job to somebody, because we've seen the act, the shtick is played out. I mean, Braun Breaker, if that match happens, I can't say it's not intriguing a bit. But unfortunately, you're handicapped on what you can do, man. Goldberg can only do so much. Braun Breaker still has a lot to learn in the industry as it is. Do you want this dude in there with Goldberg? That would have to probably be another straight-up squash. And we've seen so many squash Goldberg matches, whether Goldberg was winning or doing a job. We've seen them all. I don't know. I got my reservations on it. If they want to do Goldberg one last match before he retires, his retirement match, I'm not going to complain about it. I'll probably make some jokes. I'll have a little bit of fun with it. If the story really sucks, then I will bitch, moan, and rant about it. But I'll give it a chance for sure. But just remember, we have our reservations because of history, and we don't want it repeating itself. To say it in the most nicely of terms, you know, Goldberg might be played out at this point. And it's just the same shtick. And then he goes out and afterwards takes a huge hiatus, kind of trashes the business a little bit bitter. It's all about Goldberg. And then we repeat the process. I don't think Goldberg, just listening to his interview, especially with the Who Killed WCW docuseries from Dwayne Johnson and Vice, I don't ever feel like Goldberg truly understood the wrestling business, cared to care about the wrestling business or understand it, or really even respects the wrestling business full throttle. I don't know. Not sure for sure, but it feels that way in a lot of his interviews. And I think that's why a lot of fans over the years just kind of turned their backs and said, no thanks. I mean, I just asked a simple question. Do you guys even want to see Goldberg have one more match? I tell you, man, you go back into the chat, it was just a symphony of no's. Interesting. We'll see. I don't think Levesque McMahon will give it to him anyway. I think that ship has sailed. Even Vince didn't want to give it to him, according to Goldberg. But I don't think that Levesque McMahon is going to want to do such either. It looks like he's definitely moving on to a whole different... And in fact, let me go to this story real quick, because I do want to get to the super chats as well. But the SmackDown creative team, this past Friday night, was a little bit better of a SmackDown than we've been getting. And I say a little bit. Some fans are absolutely calling this the best SmackDown in years and this and that. I don't know about that. And that's pretty much a low bar anyway. But when I think about SmackDown, I think about what do I think about? What was SmackDown? What happened? SmackDown. That's right. Drew McIntyre taking out CM Punk. Okay, good. Well done. Everything about that, near perfection. And I think about Jacob Fatu's debut. Aside from that, you had Paul Heyman and CM Punk hug each other, which totally everybody flipped out for. All right. Not too big for me. They're good friends. They're always shooting the shit. They're always doing work together. But in the ring, they hugged each other. Okay. And then Logan Paul knocked out LA Knight. Aside from that, Randy Orton is getting rolled up by a dude half his size, Carmelo. You have the ladies getting a 6-minute match. 2.5 jobber entrances, right? Half of an entrance for Bianca and the other 2 absolute jobber entrances. 3 minutes out of the 6 was in commercial break. So you only got roughly 3 minutes of wrestling with the ladies on the whole show. That was the treatment for the ladies. Randy Orton's getting rolled up, and then you had an Andrade triple threat match. Andrade defeating, I don't even know who was in there. KO was in that one, I believe. And I don't know. Somebody could put it in the somebody could put it in the chat. So it was a decent to even good SmackDown, and I'm stretching good, right? Because when I think good, I'm talking about a totality of a show. But it was at least you didn't have to you didn't fall asleep during it, so that's a plus. But some people were absolutely, they're so quick to put any decent show into a great category. I don't know if you guys saw some of the words being thrown. Exceptional, phenomenal, amazing, awesome. Triple H is on fire. He's cooking. He's got the kitchen burning up. He's a genius. And I'm like, hold up, guys. CM Punk hugged Paul Heyman. Logan Paul knocked out LA Knight. Drew McIntyre hit CM Punk's head into the garage door. And Jacob Fatu debuted, which I'm pretty sure 83% of WWE's audience didn't even know. Does not know. Let's relax, right? Let's gradually get to where we all want it to be, but let's not go overboard, right? That's why if you caught the review, much love and respect to the thousands that caught that review this weekend. That covered it perfectly, right? All the ups and all the downs and all the all-arounds, the good, the bad, and the ugly of SmackDown. BC had you covered this weekend. But but there was some better stuff than we've been seeing. That's no question. Come to find out, guys, Ryan Callahan, the head writer for SmackDown, left the company. Now it is John Swikata. John Swikata is now the head writer, and that was his show on Friday. This is the same guy that Paul Heyman gave credit to for the Bloodline storyline. When it was at its peak, and the Bloodline was rocking, and Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman said a lot of that was attributed to John Swikata. So if HHH is cooking, then does that make him a sous chef? Because it sounds to me like John Swikata is the chef. You gotta give him some of that love, man. It's not a coincidence that this dude just became SmackDown head writer, and all of a sudden SmackDown got a little bit better. Now, again, I'm not gonna say it's great yet. We're gonna have to see if there's consistency. I've seen a lot of times we've had a good show out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden it fell flat for 4 or 5 weeks in a row, 4 or 5 months in a row for Vincent Kennedy. But we're hoping that's not the case. But I did want to just give that little bit of a tidbit, a little big breaking news. John Swikata, who was with WWE back in 2019. He was let go from the company, came back recently, of course, for the Bloodline storyline. But this dude is now the creative writer, the head guy for SmackDown. So just remember, it takes a village sometimes. You got to have a good team. That's what he had. That's what Paul Levesque McMahon had in NXT with William Regal and Dusty Rhodes and so many others. You're going to have a good team there for WWE's ratings and the interest to start getting to levels we know it should be at. So there you go. Ryan Callahan out, John Swikata in. Shawn Michaels, NXT. Shawn, the Booker of the Year. Shawn Michaels, I tell you, man, Shawn Michaels, he's getting a little bit more into it. He's starting to feel more comfortable, and he has these demands, and he wants Triple H to kind of meet him in the middle. He's not going up. It was Paul Levesque McMahon was the literally the ass kisser of Shawn Michaels. Then Paul Levesque McMahon has the power. Shawn Michaels comes back, and it's almost like Shawn's playing the second hand man, like the second fiddle. But Shawn Michaels now wants to kind of be on equal footing. He has a vision for NXT. It looks like, I don't know. JR9 was not happy with this week's NXT, though. I'll tell you that much. JR9 not too fond of Shawn Michaels' booking. So Yeah, Ron C23. I'll get to that super chat in just a minute, man. I think I got one or two more stories to go over. Then we'll go over super chats. Where do I want to go? Let me go over to this one. First of all, let's talk about Kayla Braxton. Kayla Braxton, she's leaving WWE this week. That is monstrous for BC. That was one of my favorite on-air talents imaginable, Kayla Braxton. The fact that she is ultra beautiful is a cherry on top, but she actually has talent. There was two females that when you go backstage and they have that microphone, you can believe in what you are listening to and watching because those interviewers are going to help you do that. They're so good at what they do. And those two individuals are Renee Young, who is now Renee Paquette over in AEW. I don't know how. I can't fathom how you can have Renee Young in your company and you lose her. I don't care. I understand Mox, her husband is in AEW. Her other half is in AEW, so BC, she was good. No, you offer a boatload of money. You offer Mox tickets anytime he wants to go see his girl at the shows. You buy his bus fare, airfare, a water taxi fare. But you don't lose somebody like Renee Young. This is somebody who should be on ESPN. She could be working for the NFL. She could be doing so much more shit than just pro wrestling. That's how talented Renee is. But WWE lost her. We still had Kayla Braxton, though. And she's just... when somebody just has that it factor as an interviewer, right? Or a host or a broadcast, you just feel it. Kayla Braxton never felt like she had to rush something, never had to over-embellish anything, never had to act more than just what she was. Because what she was in totality was more than efficient and sufficient. That's how good Kayla Braxton is, man. It was just so natural. And now they have lost Kayla Braxton. Now, you could say that was a self-choice, no question, right? WWE may have tried so many things, but Kayla just said she's got new opportunities, which is what she said. There's other things she wants to do, and she's going to pursue that now after 8 years with WWE. But you still, you try anything and everything. If money is the thing standing in your way, you offer even more. You find a way. You get Nick Khan, you get Ari, you get all your financial gurus, and you find a way. Kayla Braxton's an important piece. She just is. And I know a lot of fans will be like, BC, she's not that important. Relax. Well, guess what? I would take Kayla Braxton in her 3-minute interview segments spread out throughout the show more than I would be interested in seeing a Ricochet match, a Tozawa match, a Drew Gulak match, a Tyler Bate match, a Dragon Lee match, and probably 90% of the roster. Because it's all the same thing. Their music hits. I don't know who it is yet because the music is so damn undefinable. You can't define who it is. You don't know who the music is for most of these wrestlers. You have to wait until they come through the curtain because it's so generic. And then they come to the ring and you know that their booking is 50-50, if not worse. Most of them are pure sheer jobbers, so they don't feel special. So what am I watching? Am I going to watch them lock up? Am I going to watch some Canadian destroyers and some suicide dives and some moonsaults? At least Kayla Braxton, man, at least you can elevate something with her interview segments. She was a damn good host. You could move her in so many positions. It's like a utility player for a baseball team. You could put him at first, third. You could put him in the outfield. You could have him batting nonstop every day or DH every 4 days. They're so... You could just place that piece of the puzzle wherever, and that puzzle would still be complete. It's a utility player. Kayla Braxton, you could put her anywhere and everywhere. She was so damn good. And yes, again, the fact that she was uber beautiful absolutely helped. That is a huge missing part to WWE, man. A lot of people just kind of pass that away. Oh, Kayla's leaving. That sucks. Moving on. That sucks. You're right. It does. Lost Renee, lost Kayla. Who do you have now? Who do we have? Jackie Redmond? Jackie Redmond. Who else? Who's backstage? Byron Saxton is awesome. You never see Byron. Barely. They don't care about Byron. I agree, Franklin. I really do. Superior Tech. They need to you need Jim Johnston back. Get Jim Johnston back. Bottom line. If you guys want really good theme music, you bring back Jimmy Johnston. And that's with a T, Not Johnson, like 7 Little Johnstons. You know, the Little People show? Johnston with a T. No, Mikey, yeah, Kayla and Paul Heyman, I'm going to miss their interactions for sure. Kathy Kelly's mind's already in Hollywood. It just, I believe it failed the first time, so Levesque McMahon and Stephanie McMahon were really close with Kathy Kelly, so they brought her back. I feel she's gotten better than her first time, but Kathy Kelly is, I mean, she's already told you 2 years ago, she's kind of on to other things. Like, pro wrestling is not her end game, so it's hard to kind of get, it's hard to get into Kathy Kelly. Other than that, Jackie Redmond, again, Byron Saxton just gets no love. Once in a while you see him, and they don't care about Byron. Byron is really good, by the way. Is that it, guys? That's it? Jackie Redmond and Kathy Kelly? Well, that fucking sucks. If that's it, man, then I understand gone are the days of Mean Gene Okerlund and Lord Alfred Hayes. Sean Mooney and what was his name there? Pettengill, Todd Pettengill. I understand those days are gone, but I mean, you can't be losing people like Renee and Kayla, man. You found gold, you keep that. You just don't get gold and throw it into the river afterwards. So anyway, to Kathy Kelly. Actually, good luck to Kathy Kelly, man, because now you're going to have to step up the game even more. But to Kayla Braxton, man, much love, much respect. I believe on our end of the year awards last year, I think Kayla Braxton won like the most beautiful female in WWE or pro wrestling, correct? I think we named her like the top. She was the prettiest. And now her talents are being taken elsewhere. I think like sometime this week, she ends with WWE. Madison Square Garden Friday Night Smackdown is her last night with the company. And then next week, I believe she's going to unveil her next move. And I think it's already in play. So something big for Kayla Braxton. So we wish her the best. We hope the best for her. Thank you for the 8 years. Thank you for your beauty on our television sets. And hey, you never say never. Maybe she'll be back. Salute, Kayla Braxton. So damn beautiful, so damn talented. Monday Night Raw tonight. JR9, Kayla confirmed her next move is not wrestling related to... Yeah, JR9, I saw that. JR9, the reason she posted that was because a lot of people were saying she's going to AEW. And so she was like, whoa, stop, guys. She literally had to put... If you guys... This is what she said. It's paraphrasing a little bit, but basically a quote. She said, if I was going to stay in professional wrestling, I would not be leaving the biggest wrestling company in the world. Nice try, rumor mill. End quote. So yeah, Renee was basically telling everybody, stop with the AEW stuff. What I'm doing next, what I am moving on from WWE has nothing to do with pro wrestling. So good call there, JR9. So Monday Night Raw tonight, again, it is just a few hours away. So I thank you guys for the 200 on the ups. Let's take that to 250. So when we hand that over to the replay unit, when this goes up after being live to the replay unit, the future amplified unit subscribers, they will already have 250 on the ups. So they'll have an easy road to 300 plus. I appreciate the 200. Guys, Monday Night Raw tonight. There is a triple threat match. No. Another qualifier. Alls we've been having is every Monday night, man. King of the Ring, we had like 6 weeks of this shit. Now, because it's the Money in the Bank, we're having qualifying matches up the wazoo. AEW's got the Owen Hart. I mean, every time you turn around, there's tournaments, there's qualifying matches, there's multi-man schmazes. How is that fun, man? If you do it all the time, it's no longer fun. It doesn't hold substance if you do it all the time. But you're going to get a triple threat match. It's going to be Chad Gable versus Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed. Winner goes on to Money in the Bank. Chad Gable, guys, is taking on Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. You don't see an issue with that? Chad Gable was killed off TV. So at first they said he's out of his Money in the Bank match because they thought, we probably have to sell the storyline. The dude was killed off TV, not written off last week with the Wyatt 5, soon to be Wyatt 6. He was killed off TV. So yeah, you might want to hold him off TV for a week. Then a day later, Adam Pearce goes, I just got word. Chad Gable is cleared for action. He will be in the triple threat match. So only in WWE can you have literally been killed off of TV and a week later you are in a triple threat match against two monsters, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. That is absolutely hilarious to me. But hey, you better be selling off the, maybe it's like a South Park thing, right? Who killed Kenny, and every week the dude comes back. Chad Gable is in this triple threat match. You're also going to have the women's triple threat match for their Money in the Bank qualifier. Valkyria versus Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. Based on the trajectory that they have Valkyria on, you got to believe that Val is going to win this match. Shayna Baszler has been botched booking-wise by Vincent Kennedy and Paul Levesque. Both McMahons have miserably botched Shayna Baszler. I just don't see how she's going to win this match, but if they want somebody to do the job for a future round in the actual match, Shayna would be an easy stepping stone. So that would be the only way Shayna would win this. Other than that, I don't see Kairi even having a chance. And that's probably my favorite out of the three in this match. I just don't see how they're going to give Kairi this W. It looks like it's going to be Valkyria. In singles matchups, there's two of them of worth, or of note anyway, that are worthy to discuss. Karrion Kross versus Kofi Kingston. I thought that was supposed to be Xavier Woods, by the way. I don't know why my notes are saying Kingston. Maybe somebody in the chat can clear that up. I thought it was supposed to be Woods versus Kross. My notes are saying Kingston versus Kross. Somebody clear that up for me, if you don't mind, JR9 or somebody in the chat. But Karrion Kross, that was supposed to be last week, by the way. It got booted from the show. Last-minute changes by Paul Levesque McMahon. Sound familiar? We used to say that all the time about Vincent Kennedy. But you're going to get Kross versus... It is Kingston, okay. So it is Kingston. Kingston versus Kross. And then you're also going to have Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser. They've been building up Kaiser pretty nicely the last 2 weeks. Obviously, they've been building up Braun Breaker, and it looks like now this is what Paul Levesque McMahon does. He just puts them in the ring together too soon. There's nothing wrong with long-term storytelling. There's nothing wrong with letting shit settle. You don't have to thrust them in the ring all of a sudden. Just like you didn't have to put Dragunov with Braun Breaker. There was no reason to do that job for Dragunov, to look up at the lights like that, or to get DQ'd. By Ricochet, in the Ricochet match, he lost by DQ, and I think the Breaker match too, correct? And there's no reason to already do Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser. There's no reason for that, because neither one of them can afford a loss, especially not by DQ or count out or any foolery. You could let this story build, and then we're going to pay to see them fight. Or it's going to feel more special when they finally lock up. If they're already in a match, and you want this story to go another month or two, then you're already letting the cat out of the bag. We're just watching them brawl every single week. You can't do that, man. That's not a storyline. That's redundancy. But for some reason, they're putting Ludwig out there with Braun Breaker already. You're also going to get Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus Chance and Carter. One of my favorite teams in the industry right now is actually that female team, Chance and Carter. I know they may look awkward together. Chance is so tiny, but together, they're so good. They care about what they're doing. They're constantly improving. They're constantly working on their craft, getting new moves into their arsenal. I don't see them winning this match, unfortunately, but because these are champions. But that's a tag match for the... At least Monday Night Raw, man. I'm already calling off 2 matches. 2 for the females. SmackDown. Paul Levesque McMahon saw a 1.9 rating 2 weeks ago. And he said, I can't do that again. And unfortunately, he took out the females. And he only gave them a 6-minute Tag match. Was a tag match, right? What was it? I totally forgot. Oh, yeah. Jade, Bianca, and... What the fuck was the match? I forgot what it even was. Wow, man. 6-minute match. 3 of it was in commercial break. It's in my notes somewhere. I reviewed it, and I already forgot about it. How sad is that? And that was the only segment the ladies got. Backstage, I think they got a 30-second segment where Tiffany was smacked by Meechin, and Nia Jax, her older sister, just shoved Meechin into an electrical box. And Tiffany's like, let's go, bitch. And Nia's like, yeah, let's go. Tiffany Stratton was at one point one of the biggest acts in WWE, and she just got there. You wouldn't know that, would you? Paul Levesque McMahon took he took kegs of water and he put out the Tiffany Stratton fire. He did that to LA Knight 3 separate times. If you're not one of Levesque McMahon's favorites, just like Vinnie Mac, you're just not going to get the big pushes. It's just not going to happen. But Tiffany Stratton, to see what has happened to her in the last 2 months, wow, that is... This girl, Tiffany Stratton, was getting some of the loudest cheers overseas. France. She would have gotten it in Germany. No matter where she goes, she was getting these huge chants. And now she's basically not even a part of the show. She's doing something with Nia, like a younger sister to Nia type deal. It's probably a form of punishment for the post from a little over a month ago, whatever it was. Which I truly believe she just didn't put on the audio. I truly think that was just a mistake. You know, those things you don't really think they're audio, A, or B, even think to, if you're on a plane or something, you're not putting the audio up. You just, hey, that's me knocking down Jade Cargill. Looks pretty badass. Let me put that up. Remind everybody, I can knock down Jade Cargill. But, if you play it, yeah, there was something obviously that probably not the best bet. But I truly believe that was a mistake. There's no way she would just put that up like that. Locker room's still totally cool with her. Jade's totally cool. So, the immediate discussion was like, whoa, I didn't know that was on there, dude. I took that down immediately. All the females, there's no heat whatsoever on her. So, I don't know. The punishment just sounds weird to me. But the booking of Tiffany Stratton, this is exactly what is called cooling off. A pro wrestler with momentum, cooling off somebody who was just lightning white hot. I saw it with LA Knight all of 2023 and into 2024. And unfortunately, we're seeing it with Tiffany Stratton now. Sucks, man. Sucks. High hopes for Tiffany. And it's going to make it easier for her to go to Hollywood when it's time. She's already signed with Paradigm. So at any moment, she could just be like, deuces, ooses. I don't need this shit. Just going to keep me in backstage segments. I want to give a shout out, man. A couple of super chats while I was going through this over an hour of all the news and some side rants and hopefully entertaining you guys while having some good discussion. I appreciate you guys, man. The hundreds that were live throughout the hour plus, but also the thousands that'll catch us over the next 48 hours. I appreciate my replay unit as well. Make sure you smash that up. Let's take that to 250 plus. Supers, I want to give a shout out over to Joker716. Salute, I appreciate the super chat, dude. Another podcast with the classified, the certified, the amplified, B, motherfucking C. Much love, the family as, much love to the unit, the family as always. I got to do that the right way, Joker17. Let's get amplified. How's that, Joker716? Salute, man. Always good seeing you up in here. The L-Meister with a 5-spot coffee. Appreciate the super chat, L-Meister. Is Fox trash? Do you think they fucked up everything? Do they deserve WWE? I don't know. That's a pretty, that's a harsh question for Fox. Do I think they ruined everything? That's a little harsh. It's just pro wrestling. I don't think they ruined everything. They absolutely botched a lot. When you take away the mutes of the crowd and you just mute everything, including the promo itself, and then you black it out too, as if we're going to read the lips of the crowd going bullshit or holy shit. So we can't even read their lips. They blacked it out. It went to a black screen with no sound. And then they go on for a second, and then they're off for 3 seconds. And then they go on for you're just screwing with the audience at that point. And absolutely, Fox needs to be thrown under the bus for that. And I'm glad Paul Levesque McMahon said that. He literally brought up Fox on the Pat McAfee show. And he said, you know, you have all these cuts and you have people like The Rock show up. And he said, nobody's going to tell The Rock what to do. So he does what he wants to do. And unfortunately, Fox is muting us every left and right. And he said on Netflix, that's the kind of stuff that will not be happening. So they didn't ruin everything, but they absolutely botched a lot of those promo segments and a big portion of the shows. Yes, absolutely botched, because some of the biggest moments promo-wise and the crowd's chants that you feed off of that atmosphere-wise, right? And they muted it all out and they blacked it out. Some of the biggest moments on SmackDown this past year alone were muted and blacked out. Nah, that's not how you do business at all. That is, Fox dropped the ball big time. And Netflix now has to pick it up. Elmeister, appreciate it. Colin, 5-spot super chat. Coffee from Colin, one of my faves up in here. What up, Colin? I have a question. Who is Kendrick Lamar? And that shouldn't be an excuse at all. The main problem is Tony not getting the help. He will become just like a Vince. Well, that's why we're saying, Colin, we want the best for Tony Khan. We want the best for AEW. So they need to stop right now, gather themselves, take a breath, and restructure, right? Obviously, what they're doing, it's not just not for some people. Their own audience is walking away, right? That's proven. Over the last year alone, you have seen their own audience walk away. So now they have to go, how do we get them back? Like, how do we, maybe we kind of, we have to just go the opposite direction. We have to get smarter. We have to be better. So otherwise, you just history. It'll just be doomed to repeat itself. As far as who is Kendrick Lamar, I don't know. I look like I know who Kendrick Lamar is. When I say we're fully amplified 24/7, that's just what we are. There's a lot of business to conduct. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of errands. This is a 24/7 thing. There's no way that BC is just checking out a concert of anybody these days. I couldn't even tell you a Taylor Swift song, and she's probably the hottest act in the world today. I can't tell you. I just don't know anymore, man. I don't know what a Kendrick Lamar is. But according to the kids today, he's the bee's knees. As Ric Flair would say, he's what they're all talking about. Kendrick Lamar. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Somebody tell him what it is. What's a Kendrick Lamar? He's beating AEW from what I'm hearing. Dante Jaron 23, 2-spot super chat. Dante Jaron 23 says dating were down. Oh, ratings were down because yesterday was my birthday. Did you tip a few too many back, Dante Jaron 23? That was almost unreadable, bro. I know you're better than that. Dante Jaron 23, did you tip a few back, bro? Happy birthday, man. You deserve it if you did. Luckily for you, Dante Jaron. Hold on. Where's Dante Jaron? Where'd I go? Where's that super chat? Dante Jaron 23. Luckily for you, two things. A, I've been doing this long enough. I can decipher these these type of super chats. I know where you're going with it. And B, one of my favorites on the channel, so I'll take the time to decipher it. Dante Jaron 23, it was your birthday. That's why the ratings were down, man. Everybody was too busy showing that salute, that support over to Dante. Salute, man. Birthday, one of my gold team. Dante's been on the drink, Jaron Gaming. Dante's tipping him back, trying to put out the super chat. Showing BC some love over here, man. I'm gonna throw BC a coffee. BC. Oh, too funny, man. Dante Jaron 23. I appreciate you, man. Happy birthday. I mean that. Ron C 23, 2 spots. Super chat. Ron C 23. If anyone is cooking, it's BC Amplify. Woo! Here you go. There you go. I wasn't expecting a woo today, Ron C23, but you got one for your girl, Charlie. Appreciate your Ron C23. Storm with a 2-spot. Super chat. Rhodes was also injured as well from Fatu. Yeah, but that's storyline-wise, right, Storm? I believe. Does anybody want to correct me if I am wrong in the chat? I'm on a little bit of a delay on the chat, guys. It is a work. Yeah. JR9. Yeah. So Storm, yeah. But the injury is all a work. I mean, you have to sell that hardcore because Fatu is a big dude. And he was on the top rope and he dove onto the outside through Cody in the commentary table. Ain't no way you cannot sell that. Right? Like Cody has to sell that. Like on Monday Night Raw, Chad Gable was killed off TV and he's wrestling this week. That is not how you sell. That's not how you sell. But Cody Rhodes, yes, that is how you sell. Storm, appreciate you, man. Clint Green. Clint with a $5 super chat. Clint says it was a Money in the Bank qualifying match. The ladies won, Clint? Is that what we're talking about? Clint, if you're still up in the chat, I'm on a little bit of a delay. Your super chat, are you talking about the women's match from SmackDown that only got 6 minutes? 3 of it was in commercial, and I forgot who the participants were. Yeah, I think that was a Money in the Bank qualifier. Jade was in it, and it only got 3 minutes of airtime. I mean, damn. Money in the Bank qualifier. I mean, that shows you that, you know, Paul Levesque McMahon saw that it was a 1.9 rating 2 weeks ago. He said, I can't have that. So he put the ladies out there with minimal time because he knows, unfortunately, they don't pull in the ratings, but it's a vicious cycle. They don't pull in the ratings because you never give them anything of value. So then the promoter gets scared to put them out there. Then the women only have a certain amount of time to go out there and do anything. Nobody cares about it. So it's a vicious cycle. The fans continue not to care. The promoter still gets scared to put them out there. And make no mistake, it's because SmackDown pulled one of their lowest ratings in a very long time, 1.9 2 weeks ago. And that's why you only saw the females for as long as you did this week. That's not by coincidence. Triple threat match. Yeah, who was in there? Jade. Oh, it was Chelsea, Mia, and Bianca. Michin, right? Michin was in it. Yeah, because Michin was actually pretty damn good with the 3 minutes on TV that she got. Jade cut a backstage segment with Bianca before she went out to the ring. And Jade forgot a line at the very last second. She remembered it. She was supposed to tell Bianca, I'll tell you good luck, but you ain't going to need it. But Bianca's music had hit. She was already halfway through the curtain. And Jade just awkwardly yells, I would tell you good luck, but you ain't going to need it. And Bianca was gone. It was so awkward. So that's what I remember about Jade. And then Bianca went out there, got tossed out by Chelsea. Chelsea defeated Michin off of the KOD. I thought it was a good finish. I thought the right person won. I'm actually excited to see what they do with Chelsea Green. I think she's the perfect person for that situation, but it does have to be done correctly. Otherwise, it just falls to the wayside. And she's just another comedy act / role filler, right? A jobber. And I don't want to just see a comedy filler with a briefcase. I want to see somebody who's an actual threat. So, be interesting. Yeah. Anyway, though, Clint Green. Thank you for that. Yeah, I forgot to even mention that was not just a 6-minute match, 3 of it in commercial break. That was a Money in the Bank qualifier that only got 3 minutes of airtime. 2 of the 3 got total jobber entrances, and Bianca got half of an entrance. And then you wonder why the crowd didn't care about it or doesn't care about it going forward. If you ain't going to book us to care about it, how do you figure people are going to care about it? Clint Green, I appreciate you, man. Dante Jaron 23. 2 spots, super chat. It kept changing what I was typing. Yeah, sure, Dante, sure. Keep tilting it back, bro. Just playing, man. I know, dude, I know. I know how it is, Dante Jaren 23. I was watching, there's a good show called Your Honor on Netflix. It's taken me fucking a year to get through it. Like I said, I just don't have the time. So for one episode, it takes me like 4 weeks. 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there. But the dude from Breaking Bad is the star. And deep into like, maybe it's the second season. That's all there really is. It's 2 seasons. But in one of the episodes, he's trying to tell one of the federal agents to fuck off. And he's trying to be he's trying to literally get his message across. He's, so he types in, fuck off. And it auto-corrected to duck. It wouldn't let fuck, so it turned the F to the D. So he's trying to fucking tell this federal agent, he's like, fuck off. And she gets the message, and it says, duck off. And it just looks so... And it ruins everything, right? He's no longer badass at that point. Fucking Walt from Breaking Bad, and he's telling someone to duck off. I mean, autocorrect. It's horrible! Anyway, salute to Dante Jaren 23, man. Obviously, we're just having some fun. I appreciate you all the time, man. All the support you throw the channel. Obviously, channel membership, chucking coffees, and birthday. Birthday, Dante Jaren, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Ron C23, 2 spots. Super chat. Speaking of birthdays, mine is tomorrow. Woo! There you go. A little better. It's getting better there, Ron C23. I don't know if it's Charlie approved, but I think the Nature Boy would approve of it. Especially if I tell him that Dante Jaren 23 wants to party with him. Then I'll definitely get the approval. Ron C23, happy birthday, man, in advance. I don't know. I would love to do the Raw review live tomorrow. That would be really cool if I could do that live. So if that's the case, Ron C23, hopefully you can stop by, remind BC. I'll give you a live happy birthday, bro. If not, either way, if it's a pre-record, just throw it down in the chat either way. Remind me, the next chance we go live, I'm going to give you another happy birthday. Ron C23, happy birthday, bro. I say don't wait till tomorrow. Kick it up right now, man. Start it up right now, Ron C23. It's your birthday now, bro. You know what? Birthday week. That's what we should start doing. When it's a birthday, it's birthday week. Super chats, man. I appreciate you guys big time. Joker 716. The Elmeister, Colin, Dante Jaren 23, Ron C23, Storm, Clint Green. Appreciate you guys, man. That's what I got for you guys. Another hour and a half in the books. Before I take off, though, and by the way, I went over the Raw preview. Forgot to mention the Wyatt 6 MD20 just put in a super chat, and he reminded, before I even read that, MD, thank you for reminding me. They're obviously going to be a part of tonight's show. What do they do? A lot of people think they're going to attack Pat McAfee because McAfee had a little shtick on his show. I'm not going to go over that now. We're almost at an hour and a half, but Pat McAfee could be screwed with. I still think Jey Uso is the best candidate to be one of the first for them to go after, but we expect the Wyatt 5/6 as well. So MD20, a 5 spots super chat. Man, Wyatt 5 make me miss Bray even more and more. Do you think they're one of those factions that don't need titles? Absolutely, MD20. First of all, it absolutely makes you miss Bray Wyatt, but it also it helps you celebrate Bray, because they're doing so much of his work still. Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, is making sure that a lot of what his brother still wanted to do story-wise is actually going to be utilized over the next 6 months to a year, bare minimum. So a lot of what you're seeing, man, you're still getting a lot of what Bray wanted. Maybe not exactly the same as its presentation-wise, but you're getting a lot of his ideas, so we can celebrate him, not just miss him. And on top of that, I'm not even thinking of them with titles, man. Absolutely. I'm not even thinking of Uncle Howdy with a championship. Or Eric Rowan walking around with a tag title with Dexter Lumis. I'm not against it. But this is one of those acts, you don't need it. It was like The Undertaker for years. You guys have no idea. This guy never had a championship. One night. It was like a couple nights, I should say. Survivor Series and Tuesday Night in Texas, it was called. It was a special event right after Survivor Series the following Tuesday. Undertaker won the championship, relinquished it right back. That was it, really. Undertaker's character wasn't about titles. And he still was larger than life more than 99.99% of the rest of the roster. He made you stand up. He had your jaw dropped. The guy didn't need a title. The American Badass, things like that, that's when he started winning them more. Of course, Undertaker WrestleMania 13 over Sid, but that's because the company was in flux. The Undertaker was one of their only big stars left at the time. Product was really suffering. It was not that great, so they had to throw the title on Deadman Undertaker. But it wasn't really until the American Badass, that's when you start to see the Undertaker start getting championships. But the Deadman never needed that. Bray Wyatt didn't even really. Until it got to a point where it was damn clear he had earned that damn championship. And the way that it ended with Goldberg and the Hows and the Wise, that doesn't sit well with wrestling fans. That's a side rant. That's a long answer. The short answer, MD20, absolutely. They do not need any championships. I'm not against it. Have at it. But just give them badass storylines, and they will do the rest. This group has potential. This could go really good with the Wyatt 5/6, or it could go off the rails if Paul Levesque McMahon doesn't give it the care that it needs. And all of them have to play their roles beautifully. From Nikki Cross down to the Gacy's, to the Rowans, to the Loomises, to Alexa Bliss, or whoever number 6 needs to be. I don't care if it's Matt Hardy coming back. Everybody has to put this on their back. This is going to be a team effort. This is going to go really good. This is going to be really fun. Or within 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, next week, fans are already going to be online going, this is stupid. I knew this would fall apart so quickly. And maybe it's justified. MD20. No titles needed. Now did I get everybody? All right, MD20 kept the party going a little bit longer, so I had to halt our finish. That was a kick out. We were at 2 2/3, man. MD20 helped make the save, and we kicked out. All right, guys, until next time, there will be that next time. Monday Night Raw tonight, just hours away. The review tomorrow at some point, and it's possible that that's going to be live. So if you can, stop by the channel. Morning/afternoonish is the time that I'll have. Stop by, even if it's for a moment, say what's up, smash that up. I appreciate it big time. All right, check you, man. Let's go. Somebody go long, somebody catch this. I need to down the rest of this so I can go get some more coffee. Check you guys. Who's going long out here, man? You guys got to be fast, because I'm really going to bomb this about 75 yards. So if you ain't going to go, nothing more I could say. Yeah, Clutch City fan, by the way. Clutch City and Mark Chisholm. I appreciate the super thankses in yesterday, 2 days, the review for Smackdown, the stream. Or is that just an upload? Either way, I remember the super thankses. Clutch City fan and Mark Chisholm. I appreciate that, man. Several by Clutch City, by the way. I wanted to mention that as well, even though that was the last upload. All right, go. This is going 75 yards. Unit, tomorrow, Raw review.